I want to write a function which takes as input a vector v and as output tells me if there's an entry that appears twice in the vector. So I'm going to call this hasRepeat. So it's like asking, is there an entry of the vector that is repeated, that shows up twice? So the input is a vector v, output is some true-false variable that I'm going to call b. And we're going to write this using a nested for loop. So let me give you some intuition for it. So say v is the vector a, b, c, d. Okay, then what do we need to do? I need to check a versus b, a versus c, a versus d. Okay, then I go on to b, and I don't have to check b versus a because I already checked does a equal b. So I just have to go, does b equal c, does b equal d, and last one I have to check, does c equal d. So I want some programmatic way to run through this series. So it's first compare a to everything that comes after, then it's compare b to everything that comes after, then compare c to everything that comes after, and the way to do that is with a nested for loop. So lots of times we write it like for x equals v. Okay, but I don't know any way to make it work with this syntax. So instead I'm going to do for I equals 1 to length of v. And the reason I like that is then for the inside for loop, I can refer to where I am in the vector. So for example, if I is 7, then I want to do something different from if I is 2. So where do I want to start? Well, for example, if I'm at A, then I want to start at the next one. If I'm at B, then I want to start at the next one. So the way it works, and this is something you can get used to seeing, it shows up a lot, for j equals I plus 1 to the length of v. Okay, and from here it's pretty easy. If, and be sure you don't write I equals j. Instead write if the entry in the ith position equals the entry in the jth position. Okay, if I find that, then I set the true-false output to be true, and I can just return. And my default return value should be false. If I never see a match, then the output is going to be false. And what's the length for how long this should take? How many steps is it going to take? Well, the key idea is how many pairs are there. Okay, A and B versus B and A, those count as the same pair. And the answer is that if the length is n, then it's n choose 2. So it's something that's approximately n squared over 2. So let's test it out and see if it works. I've saved it as hasRepeat. So hasRepeat, and then let's say my input vector is 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want the output to be 0 for false. Yep, that worked. What if here I put another 3? Yep, then the output is true because this number 3 is repeated. Let's just check one more. What if after here I put a whole bunch of numbers, like 10 up to 100? Yep, it still works. It still recognizes that 3 and 3 is a repeat.